Hello out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. And again, thank you for always visiting my channel. Today I'm going to touch on a topic that's very personal. And I was thinking twice about doing this video, but I thought about it and I believe that this video and the topic that I'm going to touch on will save, or should I say help, a lot of people to prevent them from making the mistake that I made inadvertently. And here it is. I look at my life in two halves at this point. 2005 on back and 2005 going forward. Now the 2005 going back was a very pretty good life. I mean, I didn't have any major complaints. Just an average guy doing average things and, enjoying life, doing what I have to do. 2005 to the future is like a living nightmare. And the reason why is this. I'm going to try to sum this up as quick as possible. In 2006, I was given antibiotics for a quote-unquote prostate infection, which I didn't have. I come to find out later I didn't have it. And I was taking antibiotics for over 3 months. And those antibiotics, unbeknownst to me, they more or less kind of destroyed or messed up my immune system with a point where everything is just going haywire. And again, the reason why I'm sharing this is because I want people to know out there that there's a reason why doctors, and I'm not knocking all doctors, I'm knocking the establishment that puts these plans and systems in place, knowing when they do that, what they're doing. And they do what they do for a reason. And if you listen carefully, they tell you, but we kind of don't think about it. And when's the last time you've been to the doctor and they give you antibiotics and they told you this, and they told you this, only take them for 7 days. Now, the first thing that we should say is, why only 7 days? But we don't think like that. We believe and trust our doctors. They're like gods to us and they can't make a mistake, so we just follow what they asked us to do. And there's the reason why they tell you that, and here it is. After 7 days, antibiotics start to destroy your digestive tract. And I'm going to try, like I said, try to condense this as small as possible. Your immune system is actually located in your digestive tract. I didn't know that. I thought it was somewhere in the central nervous system up in the brain. I'm not thinking like a doctor or thinking about those things. I'm just an average guy. So, your immune system is located in your digestive tract. Your probiotics, the good bacteria in your system that's responsible for warding off diseases and keeping everything running smoothly, they feed off a yeast called Candida. Now, what antibiotics does is it not only kills the bad things in your system, because there is a use for antibiotics. I mean, it does help you in situations, but we are overprescribed this particular medication on a daily basis in this country. It is the #1 overprescribed medication in this country. So, getting back to the digestive system. So, the good bacteria, when you're given antibiotics, it not only kill the bad things in your system, it kills the good bacteria. And over a period of 7 days, after 7 days, it starts to do some serious damage. And what happens is, once the antibiotics start to kill off the good guys, and what the good guys eat as a food source is Candida yeast in your system. We all have it in small amounts when we're healthy. So after the antibiotics kill off the good guys, the yeast that it feeds or it eats, it starts to become unchecked, meaning that there's nobody or not that many bacteria in there, good guys, to eat it. So it starts to grow at an unbelievable rate. Gets to the point where it fills up your intestinal tract, and it literally starts to poke microscopic holes in your digestive tract, which is called leaky gut syndrome. Now, if you go to the doctor and ask them about this, they're going to tell you crazy, or don't listen to the guy or the people that told you that, because it's not true. I'm living proof that it is, and I'm in the situation that I am now as a result of this. So, unfortunately, I do know what I'm talking about. I've done research for the last 5 or 6 years. I've talked to many people all over the country and all over the world, literally, and told me their horror stories of what catapulted their issues that they have now. And the culprit leading back to the source is antibiotics. So getting back to the yeast, when it fills up digestive tract, it mutates into a spider-like form. It starts to like literally grow like barnacles, and it pokes holes into your digestive tract because it's escaping. It's like a jailbreak. It's too many people here, and we got to get out of here. Pokes a hole in your digestive tract, gets into your bloodstream. At that point, it's called candidiasis. Now, anything that gets into your bloodstream, anything, what happens at this point is it gets into your bloodstream and travels throughout your entire body, because blood travels throughout your entire body. It goes through every single organ in the body. So now I'm starting to experience, these types of weird symptoms, and it varies from person to person. And the first thing that happened to me was my feet started to swell up. Then it had a white coating on my tongue. Now, I'm not really alarmed at this point. These were like minor annoyances. But what really disturbed me was the next symptom that kicked in. I became very, very, very tired, to the point where I can barely get off the couch to take a bag of garbage out to the trash. So at this point, I'm very alarmed about what's going on with my system. So I go back to the doctor, and they run some tests. They can't find anything. I did my own research, and I come to find out that there's a specific test that they can give you to determine what's going on in your system as far as pathogens. And I'm going to say this first. If you're not given the right test, they cannot give you the right diagnosis. I repeat that. If you're not given the right test, they cannot, in most cases, give you the right diagnosis. So they sent my blood out to California because there was no facility in Illinois that would do this particular very unique test. It came back 2 months later. My doctor gave me the report. He said he couldn't read it. He gave it to me. I looked at it. A 10-year-old could read it. It basically stated that these were the tests that we ran to see if you had this in your system, and if you do, this is the amount you should have in normal amounts. Here is the abnormal amounts. And the column that had abnormal, I kid you not, in some of those particular things that they tested me for, I not only had the double amount, if I had triple amounts of this stuff in my system as a result of the antibiotics, lowering my immune system and allowing these pathogens to just have their way in my body. So I'm going to try to condense this as small as possible, because I can literally talk about this subject for like 2 hours. I mean, it's just that intense. But I'm not better yet. I was told by people all over the country and in the world that it might take 10 years, and they're experiencing this too, to get your body back to the balance that it once was. So I share that story with you to say, hey, go out there if you got some symptoms that your doctor can't determine what's causing it. Check back in your history to say, hey, have I been given antibiotics for long periods of time throughout my life? And if so, I need to kind of investigate this, because I've been feeling weird for like 2 years or 3 years, and no one can determine what's wrong with me. And they say, it's just in your head and you'll be okay. Take it serious, because there could be this going on. And this, trust me, is a nightmare. I was once told, and I said this to myself too, I'm probably better off with cancer or even maybe AIDS, which I don't think so. I mean, that's a death sentence for sure. But better off having cancer than this, because when you have cancer, at least everybody recognizes that as a serious condition and they treat you accordingly. When you're dealing with this, they figure, hey, there ain't nothing wrong with you. You're going to be okay, and this is, you're overthinking this. And it's like, well, tell that to my body every day when I lay it down and I wake up and experiencing the same nightmare that I went to bed with, So don't let anybody tell you anything that you feel in your heart that's not true, because you know your body better than anybody. And you know when something's not right, So I'm going to just touch on this one other topic quickly, and then I'm going to call it a day, because I don't want to continue just to go on. I'm giving you too much. Don't want to give you too much information in one sitting. But this is just I guess a touch on food and the things that we eat that we believe to be safe, or the things that we consume into our bodies that we believe to be okay, because the Food Drug Administration have agreed to put it on the market. So therefore it's okay. And in most cases it is, but in some cases it's not. And I challenge anybody to do what I'm about to ask them to do. Go into your medicine cabinet in the bathroom, and you can pause the tape. Go in there, go into the cabinet, get your toothpaste out. get your toothpaste out, and you might need a magnifying glass because if you got so bad vision, you're not going to see this because it's in real small print. Stick that magnifying glass in the back of that toothpaste and read it from the top to the bottom, because I don't know exactly where it's placed because it varies, but it's there. And by law, they have to put it there. And it will tell you that if you swallow this product called poison control. Now repeat, it's going to tell you if you swallow this product called poison control. Now the first question you have is, why would I need to call poison control if I swallow this? Because anything you put in your mouth, whether you physically gulp it and swallow it down, the residue gets down into your esophagus and gets into your system. So regardless of whatever you put in your mouth, it's getting down there. So there's a reason why they want you to call poison control. There's an ingredient in toothpaste, and it goes under several different names, and forgive me for not having this information handy rather to tell you, but the same ingredients, because they disguise it with so many different names to confuse you and trip you up. But this particular ingredient in toothpaste can also be found in rat poison decon. I kid you not. That's why they want you to call poison control if you swallow this. Now, my question is, why would you give me anything that will run the risk of me having to call poison control because I swallowed it? The government, the politicians, to push their product, even though these companies have done their own individual studies and they have determined themselves that this product is not healthy for you. But that doesn't stop some of them because they want money, and please don't take this video as an anti-government or Food and Drug Administration or medical industry video, because it's not. This is all about enlightenment. It's all about giving you information that you will need to protect your person, your health, your state of mind. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just passing that on because it's very important that we realize some of the things that are taking place that we know once we realize them that they shouldn't be taking place. But unfortunately, we live in a country and perhaps an entire world that's driven by money. Money is the first priority in most of these corporations and these situations. The more money they have, the more money they want. And the more money they want, the more money they keep getting because they keep putting out product that is inferior, is bad for your health, but that doesn't stop them. And unfortunately, certain industry have enough money that they can lobby the government, to kind of, be lenient towards them as far as putting out a product that's kind of questionable. And even after the product has been proven and taken off by the Food Administration, by that time, the company have made maybe trillions of dollars off that product. There are some companies that strategize. They do this. They say, hey, we know what we get might damage your liver, but it probably won't show up as far as damage your liver for about another 3 years. So we got 3 years to make over $1 trillion on that product. And we might experience a couple of $1 million lawsuits, which is pennies to them. And then by that time, when the Food Administration is forced to take it off, they've made their money and they called it a day, And that's sometimes how it works too. They know ahead of time that these products are not healthy for you. They put them out there anyway because we live in a greedy society these days. It's all about money, trying to do in the next guy to get his and get more. It's unfortunate that it's like that now in these times, but it's like that. So we have to, educate ourselves and say, hey, I need the best way to start to protect myself from these types of situations. And knowledge is king, Again, I'm going to sign off now because I don't want to sound like I'm rambling. But I hope that this video, has been helpful to someone out there, and it raise a red flag and say, hey, I'm experiencing what you're experiencing, and nobody has told me why I'm experiencing this. So hopefully this has been helpful to you. And as always, I appreciate you viewing my videos. Thank you.